Hello there everyone. Today I wanted to show you one of my favorite builds that I've played this league. It is a Burning Arrow Elementalist that has very smooth and nice clearing along with some decent boss damage, and it's just very satisfying to play. It's been a long time since I played an Ignite build, and the combination of Soft's Nurture and Barracks Respite really provides the old Ignite proliferation that I really enjoy. It's just a super satisfying thing to run with. So I'm gonna do a pretty standard atoll map, really, nothing special. Has Enfeeble on it, so we're gonna get less damage than we would per usual, but it shouldn't really be an issue here. And of course, as an elementalist, we also get to leverage things like golems, which are super strong when you use stuff like Primordial Shane, along with an Anima Stone and some Primordial Eminences. I'm just gonna do some stuff real quick here. As you can see, the betrayal mobs are not really an issue at all. I also realized that I have my bossing setup on right now. One thing that I do somewhat struggle with on this build is mana. I'm not sure how other people are dealing with it, but I often feel like I need to run a Divine Enduring Mana Flask to get things to work smoothly when I'm mapping. But otherwise, it's really nice on bosses. You can just shoot every now and then you just run around. I do think that dynamic kind of changes when you have a Ember Wake, but as I am on Soul Self-Found Standard, I'm not blessed with all the things you could have in this world, like a Watcher's Eye with some cool Malevolence mods, stuff like that. I'm just gonna skip the Strange Barrel, that takes way too long. But really, I've got most of the good things you would want from this build, and even without some of the more min-maxy things, it still delivers a really satisfying and nice playstyle. So if you want something where you can just sit back and map, this is a perfect build for that. And one more thing that I've also found to be somewhat of a struggle is specifically survivability on like spiky damage, because I mean you've got great sustain because you're leveraging like Stone Golem, so you have 1,000 life regen a second, so you're really fine when it comes to sustain. But even though you have things like Primal Aegis that protects you from heavy spikes of elemental damage, like the physical damage, it's been a problem. I'm not sure if it's me that's a bit too aggressive, considering I'm not used to playing these ball builds. Maybe I get too far into the monsters' faces, but I've been struggling recently. But at the same time, I do also roll my maps quite aggressively. Another just tip in general, I don't know how widely known this is at this point. I'm guessing it's probably fairly well known, but if you roll a Meticulous Watchstone for the Hayward Hamlet area, it is amazing. Like getting 5 ritual altars in every single zone is, yeah, it's the best. you just have to get it if you're running that node, even though it will cost you a couple of X in alterations at least, if not more than that. I mean, alteration prices are crazy in Temp League, but it will pay back in the long run for sure. You can see the bosses, no problem. Just shoot a couple arrows on them, and then you do your wave of conviction to apply exposure and combustion, and then you cast flammability, and sometimes you don't even have to do all of those things before the bosses are dead. So it really is great for mapping. And I've done stuff like Cyrus. I've done stuff like Uberelder. It's not bad. It's not good. It's pretty average. But most mapping type bosses are a breeze. They are no issue. And I think that's about it. Let's see if we get something sweet. Sure. Oh, why not? I'll take one of those. Hey, I might want one of those someday. Let's reroll. You know what? I think I will just pick up a couple of contracts. That's a-okay with me. And I probably left a bunch of loot. Don't worry. After the video, I'll go back and pick all that stuff up. And there is a lot more min-maxing to be done in this build. Like, for example, I could get rid of this thing eventually. I just have it because one thing that is a real struggle in this build is getting your dexterity requirement, because this thing requires 185, so I've got a buffer of 14 at the moment. And I've also been trying to roll my gloves with essences of sorrow, I think it is, that provide the dex roll. And it's been going pretty terribly. I think I got way too greedy and I had to stop on these. And really the big upgrade will come in the form of a better quiver with some dot multi, and otherwise I think it's going to be hard to upgrade this. Probably get 21 on some of the relevant golems, and getting a awakened deadly ailments would be a big get, because that will increase your speed of damaging ailments faster. Yeah, faster damage dealt by ailments. And beyond that, I think it's going to be hard getting anything better than what I have here. But just, I mean, with this, you're doing like far better than any other character I've made this league, at least in terms of how enjoyable it is to play. So I'd really recommend to people to check this out. I'm using these as my flasks. I'm using a pretty standard tree if you want to see what you should actually have, because I've kind of tried to get something ideal, but if you just go onto PoE Ninja and then look for people that use Burning Arrow and are Elementalists, you'll find lots of different opinions. Really, I should spec out of this stuff, grab another large cluster, but I haven't been able to roll one yet. But as I said, all that stuff, not really necessary. This, in its current iteration, it is more than good enough, and I'd recommend for you to play it. It is a blast. I'll see you around. Have a nice day.